Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the Link Building Show. I'm Molly and I'm here with Oakley, and today we're going to talk about how to get a journalist to link. So obviously it's so great when you see that a journalist has published your story and you can see your piece on one of those high DR sites, hopefully. But how does it feel when you're scrolling through and there's no link?
Yeah, it can be a little bit frustrating when you don't see a link. Obviously, it's great to see that your work has been posted by the journalist, but there are a few things you can do to encourage the journalist to link to the client's site.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's quite nice because there's a little bit of hope then that the piece is already up, but you just need to get it to link.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the journalist to link, sorry. So name your top tips for getting a journalist to link.
So my top tips would be, first, look at which journalist has written the piece. You can go on, say, like Muckrack and or Roxhill, have a look at the journalist's email, and then email them directly. One thing I tend to do is I tend to research the journalist's name, see if they've got a website. They might have multiple emails that they use. Sometimes they've got a personal email that they prefer to be contacted on. So I tend to CC in both emails.
Yeah.
And then contact them that way. I think contacting them first thing as soon as you see the article is the best way to do it.
Yeah, I agree because, obviously what we do here is just you're constantly looking for your links, aren't you? So as soon as you can see that the placement is there, it's better to reach out because then it'll still be fresh in their brain and they'll be able to hopefully then add the link in there. And also it's quite a positive thing if you could CC in the editor of maybe where the piece is published. So if it was the editor of the Express, for example, just in case they could pass it on to their team and more people might highlight it. So obviously it's great to send an email straight away. Is there a certain number of times you might send an email or any other ways you think that you could get them to link?
Yeah, so I think in terms of sending the emails, I'd say the best thing to do is maybe send one in the morning at 9 o'clock when they're first coming online, starting the day of work, and then best also to send one in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, or something like that, when there's a little bit of a lull in the afternoon, and they might be checking their emails more frequently.
Yeah, good point.
I'd say send them a couple of emails, maybe 2 emails for the next couple of days, maybe to the end of the week, and then if they don't reply to then maybe just say, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess you'd hope that they're going to do it on the first email, that'd be ideal.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, in terms of other ways that you can maybe contact the journalist, say if they're not regularly checking their emails, one thing you could do is to DM them on Twitter. If they're more active on there, they might respond more quickly and they might just not be checking their emails. Alternatively, you can message them on LinkedIn. If they've got a professional LinkedIn handle, they might be more likely to respond on there.
Yeah,
that's one way to get in touch with them.
And also I think that's a good way to make a nice relationship with the journalist, perhaps with the Twitter DM or something. And obviously it's always important to be polite and, be encouraging of the piece and just thank them that they've covered it anyway, and just in the hope that they could add a link to help us and our clients. So some journalists or some sites have a no link policy. Is there any way that you think you could try and get around that?
Yeah, so the one good way to do that is to offer a little bit of exclusive say an exclusive quote or something from the client, so that way that when the journalist is covering it, they've got, say, an exclusive access or something that puts them ahead of other articles, for example, and that might encourage them to link back to your client.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really good point. I think that then also adds to the nice relationship because hopefully they would keep coming back for the expert commentary in our client's niche, for example. Yeah, because in my own personal experience, I have had someone who I've sent a couple emails to, and you can get a bit disheartened thinking they're just not replying. But some people aren't actually checking their emails as much as you think they are, or they take some time off their emails and they're on Twitter more. So I had somebody who was highly receptive on Twitter, which is really nice. And then finally got that link, which is good. And then it's always about just making sure that once they have added the link that you go back and thank them for doing that, because it takes a little bit of time out of their day to do it as well. So yeah, I think it's really good. And you just hope that everybody's having a really positive day and that they will just add the link for us.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember as well that a lot of the time journalists have so many emails coming in all the time that they might just miss it. So sending those follow-up emails helps bump it to the top of their inbox.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you can worry about spamming them, or keep pressure, adding a bit of pressure or whatever, but it might not be that they've seen it at all, or they might just email back and say unfortunately they can't do it, so then you just leave it there, which will make sense. But yeah, okay, that's great insight. So thank you very much, Oakley, for joining the Link Building Show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.